Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Grand Arena Zone. I'm joined by Ken, as always, and he's got some great footage for us from this first week of 3v3. So, Ken, how's it going?
Pretty good. It was a fun week for sure in 3v3. Like the season of offense, it feels like
Mm-hmm.
so few teams are holding. Yeah, it was quite fun. Interesting too. I played like two players that were, I would say around 10 and a half, 11 million GP. And I lost to one of them because they out offensed me, which was
Oh,
very
man.
impressive.
That is impressive. Yeah, you don't see too many.
Uh,
Was that Tom Ford or something?
No, it was a bunch of Japanese characters. At the end, it
Oh,
says you
okay.
can't say in English. He's a good player. He's quite good.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it would just be pure offense for me. I mean, the first two was, but the last one, the guy just said, like, the Great Wall of China, and then my Afra failed against Jabba, and I was toast.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we could
I
win.
haven't had the balls to try Afra versus Java yet. It makes me uncomfortable from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, it should. It's like if they decide to pick on her, you're done. So,
Yeah,
very risky. It's like 60 some percent right now.
yeah, that's what I was seeing in the stats when I reviewed them yesterday. Still, I guess it's good if you have I don't know, a decently set up Afra, and as long as I think this slower droids is where I seem to see some problem because Afra just not getting enough turns to do the regen.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, shall we get started here?
Yeah, let's do it. So you got Malgus versus Riva to start. They have the turn
Indeed.
meter.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried with with this setup because my Datacron has a bunch of health, which is great,
Hmm.
but none of the buffs, so lacking a bit of damage from mostly Darth Revan.
Hmm.
And they had the turn meter one, so I wasn't sure if they would actually time me out. And you can see in the end, I maybe misplayed a little bit with some of the moves, but it actually gets quite close at the end, I felt like, just
Yeah.
from a timeout perspective.
So why are you going for seventh instead of Grand Inquisitor first?
Because of the regen.
You
That was
don't think?
my biggest fear.
Yeah, okay. To me, I think you always got to go for GI first here.
I think that definitely probably would have made the fight a bit easier and maybe even a bit faster.
Hmm.
Because as you'll see, no, I don't. I think the shock will prevent the health, but not protection regen, right?
Yeah.
I think at the time of the fight, I had forgotten that or had not remembered that. So I was thinking with shock, they wouldn't gain health or protection.
Yeah.
So I think the first time that Seventh Sister uses her thing, I was like, well, said some bad words, and then I changed, or I started to change, or think about changing or something. Right there when I was pausing, I was like, that is not what I recalled from shock.
Yeah.
Did you see Riva on defense at all in your
I
matches,
didn't.
or
I didn't see her at all. No. Which I was kind of
or do you
glad. I
remember
don't know
using?
what. I didn't really have a plan for her other than like something really good. Oh
This
no.
really annoyed me right there.
Yeah,
I
dang. The
know.
dodge. Were you blinded or something? Or was it just
No, just do you have a certain chance to dodge? She also has, I think, dodge in her
her
mastery.
mastery? Oh yeah,
She's
that's
in
right.
agility something. So
Tactics support or something. I don't know.
yeah, I think that's the name.
Or she's a healer. Maybe tactics healer. I don't know. I forget. Like it confused me. I'm always annoyed by when someone has evasion. Like there were all these characters I learned had evasion mastery. Like when they were with Ray. Like I didn't know Cal did, then I didn't know Sorty did, or maybe it was Sorty, but like they all had just evasion. I'm like, oh, I can't hit you ever after Ray's dead.
Yeah, that was so frustrating when it was like 3 sets ago or something like that. I think 3 Datacron sets ago. There was Resistance one, and a lot of people started then putting JTR with Ray, and that
Yeah.
was just horrible. Um, that was terrible to fight with, mostly with Starkiller, I guess. and
Yeah.
seeing all the. Well, I finally did go for.
Look at that. You decided finally to go for GI and he's gone.
Yeah, definitely should have done it earlier. But here is really I started to get a little worried because, okay, 155 is not bad, but
Yeah.
it's still going to take a long time to get through Reba.
Yeah. Pretty much need the big
But
jumps.
luckily-
Yeah, those will take care of it.
Yeah. That's one thing I like. I got pretty lucky with this Datacron. Has like 80-some% health or something like that. So the big hits are pretty big, which is satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy how much damage she is doing too. She's going through like almost all my protection with one of her hits.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised.
Yeah, I mean, well, you actually
I thought
got
you-
through this in less than a minute, or this far. Got through it twice.
Yeah. I thought you would go for Revan at one point
Mm-hmm.
and kill him, but luckily not.
Yeah.
It's really more than anything else. I think it's Malik that makes this fight easier. Just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fears.
Yeah, the fear is crazy good. And then we got a.
So here we
Yeah, go for
Malgus
it.
team, a good Malgus team, like it's with the best sides. But Bastilla and Jedi Knight Cal make it so easy.
Yeah, I don't like putting the good sides because you still beat it like with kind of the same stuff. Jedi Knight Cal, and then Treya GBA Nihilist does it, and then you don't even have to use Savage. Like, that works just
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
so.
definitely.
Yeah, I still like Darth Revan with his original counterparts.
The trio.
Split. Like,
Do you place your Malgus on defense normally, or?
yeah,
Use them all
I've
for
never
offense?
taken him on offense yet. Like, even though everyone started doing it. And people,
Yeah, it's
I
a good way
mean,
to take
they
Cal, I guess.
need to use something on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And really, a lot of people don't use, especially with this set now, with the Jedi set gone. I mean, with the combination we have, a lot of people use like JKR or JKL lead, and I think JKR is not bad, but I've seen like 3 or 4 failures with JKL just
Yeah.
because they're missing the speed, they're missing the damage, they don't have speed up
Yeah.
anymore from basic,
Yeah.
so it can get
I
death
used
mark or something.
I used Jedi Knight, Luke Lead, and Cal, and like Mace against like just Saw, and I thought I was sufficiently overkilling it, but they did make a good hit on Jedi Knight Cal, and then he got to like half health before I got one turn, so pretty
Oh
decent.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that team is surprisingly good. Like a lot of people
Mhm.
underestimate it.
For
I
sure.
think the only downside for me is I haven't really seen it any good use for it on offense.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's very nice on defense, but yeah, it seems like it could do something on offense, but I just can't figure out, and I haven't seen any in the stats even. There's not very many people who are taking it out on
Yeah.
offense either.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite
this-
counters to Lord Vader. You got the lucky roll in Maul targeting Barriss first with the cooldown reduction, not JKR. Makes it a lot easier.
It's still pretty easy though, even without the Jedi Cron.
Yeah.
I mean, I find from my perspective, Barriss is the best second, and then the third, I had an extra JKR here, so like, why not? But I think a lot of Jedi's work, Shock or Bastilla or something like that.
I mean, I
Or
think
if you
JKR is
Yoda.
amazing. I have no idea about Barriss, actually. The one I'm thinking that you have to have is JKR, because if Lord Vader gets into Ultimate and he has even a little bit of ramp, well, I don't know, maybe JKR is too flimsy anyway, but to me it's all about controlling his cooldowns when you can't ability block him. So it's like you have the mark, and then you have JML's first special, so you can control him really well. And then when he's out of ult, you just ability block.
Yeah, that's true. It definitely makes it easier. Mostly the reason I like Barriss is because except for when he uses Daze, she gets so many turns from all the dots and cleanses like crazy, so it takes a lot
True.
of the risk away from it.
That's a good point. Might have to do that then.
Stats wise, with her in it, I think the average is something like 89% over 50 plus attempts, just with her and some other Jedi.
Well,
JKR is like 100%. There's been 0 failures with the 2 of them, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I might do that then.
Is that what you're using right now versus JML?
Yeah,
versus
I
your
use
Lord Vader when you see it?
Yeah, I use JML. My one opponent last week, and then my opponent today set Lord Vader with Maul and Swordy, and that's what I've been doing too. And it makes me a little nervous for JML because you can't touch Maul or it'll just hide under stealth. So I'm like don't want to do AoEs because if he gets stuck, that's really annoying. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to do it.
As soon as you kill Shorty, you can just go straight after Shorty, right?
You can, yeah. I guess that's true. If you can get buff immunity on her, it's not like gonna be an issue. Yeah.
I'm curious.
Have, like, a little bit of a
having
lower
looked at the stats.
win rate.
Oh, this is a very interesting fight. I think I misplayed it. I should have gone for Malicos first, but I thought that, and here I'm pretty sure I was just wrong. I thought that Malicos's Omicron would prevent Cat's insta-kill. Like it would take them to 1% health, and then he would keep going. But in reality, it didn't work that way. So I think I could have won if I had gone for Malicos first.
Yeah, I did the exact same matchup, and I started going for Malicos, but then he keep us like attacking at a turn and healing up, and I was like, all right, forget this. Then I went after Maul. I think I don't know if I used to insta-kill on Maul or not. I don't think I did, but
in the end, I should have just.
Yeah. I don't know if my opponent had all the Omicrons for Malicos. That might have been the difference between mine and this one.
Well, I really, in hindsight, I think I would have been just fine. But here, I thought Maul would go to 1% health, and then I would finish him off, Yeah. But man, with all the protection that Malicos gets and all of the out-of-turn attacks he does, it is so annoying. Really was frustrating me.
Yeah, and Maul was pretty low there. He
kept
could have just pulled it on Malicos.
Yeah, definitely. And stats-wise, this counter only has like, I think 60%, 60% success or something like that, with good data counts on both sides. So it's definitely not a gimme, but I suspect that a lot of people that are losing it made the same poor choice that I did, not to kill Malicos with Cat. Or
I remember when I remember when I faced it. I remember thinking it was just a bad move because JMK can destroy it, but
I think the other way that you could lose, even if you go straight for Cat first, is if you do the immunity thing on Cat to give her the reset, and then Maul hits her. Like if he does the cooldown on Cat, depending on relative speeds, obviously.
Yeah. Actually, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I used JML on this, and it was pretty easy. I don't know. All right, I keep thinking about that.
No, I was looking at the stats for this actually yesterday when I was like looking at all the GLs and their interesting counterparts and stuff. Here, I thought I was gonna win, but that fucking stupid protection regeneration. I really forgot about that part of his kit altogether at the beginning, or somehow I thought it wouldn't happen because he's under Vader lead. But yeah. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was looking at the stats. I don't think JML fares very well either. It's like actually less chance of success than JMK.
Oh.
But it definitely changed with the matchup. That's actually, and I'll have to check after we do this review.
Oh, you were so close wondering, there.
Yeah, I know. This is the one. This isn't the one match that I lost. Also, my opponent also he failed twice on my teams, but he was like 10 banners more efficient on the rest of them. So I failed this one, and then I didn't show it, but I failed a Bounty Hunters versus Seer team because I was thinking I was all clever going in with ability block on the Scoundrels, but Seer had her Omicron, which makes the team immune to ability block. So I went in there like, why is this not working? It was very annoying.
Yeah, I had something similar. I think I in Territory War I took Riva against a Seer Malicos team, and I was like, yeah, it's TW, we got this. And they turn healing immunity into damage immunity, so like literally it's the exact opposite of what you want. And I forgot while I was doing it, I was just like, it wasn't part of a video or anything, I was just on my phone, I was like, why do they always get damage immunity? Like every second they had damage immunity. I like killed like one person, I forget who, but I was so mad. It was so annoying. And then I read the kit again, I was like, oh, okay.
They're quite a good team in TW for sure.
Yeah.
Seer. Yeah, so 2 CLS fights in a row. There's so many options to kill CLS. I really don't think he's a good team on defense these days. But I don't know, he's not amazing on offense either against many of the newer teams. But this was nice and easy. The previous one was pretty easy also. I was worried a little bit for Gideon there, but
Yeah.
in the end,
My opponent set CLS 3 Chupio and Drogon that I have to face today. So
with the Drogon DC, I'm
I think so. Yeah. And then he put old Ben with Leia, so I mean I still have to use something good on Leia, so I guess it's a good idea.
Interesting. I'm very curious to see that match.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's a fight I put in sort of a few fights here because this is probably the last time, well, maybe not in threes, but one of the last times that we'll be seeing Gideon used so much now that Dark Trooper Gideon is here, and we'll probably take him away a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really wonder how it's going to work in threes though. Like, obviously Scout makes the most sense for sure with Dark Trooper Gideon.
Yeah.
And then the third, I think, is a bigger question.
Yeah, I think OG Moff is best, but it sucks because of this. You want Gidme.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how important this counter is. It's used in so many places. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so silly that it even works.
Especially with set 11 giving you the extra protection up at the beginning of the fight with that level 3. It's an easy extra oomph.
Yeah.
This was a little tight though. I wasn't quite sure if I was actually going to win this one.
Yeah, I think it's hard to kill Seer because she has high protection. So I did this exact same match. I used Shock instead of Yoda. And I went for Cal first because I knew he has more health, but I was lucky to.
Yeah, Cal I definitely think is easier to kill. What I was worried for Cal though is that Fulcrum would just blow me up because the Fulcrum here.
Oh no, I went for I went for Fulcrum first too, but then like Cal for a second. Yeah, Fulcrum for sure. You have to kill her first, and she's the easiest one to kill too. So that part is that's a lot.
Yeah, but Cal did take a while to kill here for sure. I think I got a couple of armor shreds on him. In the end, it was just straight damage that killed him, not courage. But yeah, his regen is very frustrating.
No, that was courage.
Yeah.
81k.
It was courage. Okay, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, we were talking about Jabba before we started the stream here. What have you been using so far in week 1 against Jabba? JMK or?
Yeah, so one opponent didn't set him, and then I used Afro one time and it worked great, and I was like, oh yeah, this is so smooth. And then the next one, they just went all in on Afro, and I was like, oh, okay. I lost because I couldn't actually kill Jabba in the end. My Marin was modded terribly for the Night Sisters thing. I threw it in for the first time. I remodded now for Tenacity and Protection, but I hadn't looked at her mods since I got her to R5. They were like all health, so it didn't go well. And then I was just stuck. Oh, I almost killed Boosh too with Treya, Annihilus, and Scion. She got down to a stick of health, and then Scion got to go. I thought I just needed to poke her and she'd die. but she did.
Right.
I couldn't even see what damage amount I did,
Yeah.
but she stayed alive. And then I was like, okay, well, I got nothing.
And you weren't able to eat anybody with Treya? Well, I mean, with Nihilus, because you had Treya, Nihilus,
No, they
Scion,
after that attack I got, they all just blew up from like 30 thermals. So,
Oh my
no.
goodness, dang.
Yeah, because GLs
Yeah,
turn
it's-
off her Omicron too, so it's a
Yeah,
one. It's
that's
like
true.
a TW.
Dark side
Treya.
GLs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had the guts to go with Afra. I know quite a few people have had success, and the entire season they use it every single round. But I also saw people who failed immediately because like they focused on Afra, landed 9
Yeah,
thermals, and
I
she's
mean,
dead.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do if they do that. It's not like you should have focused harder or something. But yeah, JMK is
Yeah.
safest. I always used to use JMK, but I set him on defense, and like the one time I did set him on defense, it actually did work really well. But I don't know. This will be one test run to determine if I need to just give up and use JMK again for Java.
I'm curious how it goes. This was also an interesting fight here with set 10 gone. And this team being quite good. They were very fast. But as soon as it used to be that Anakin's AoE with set 10 there would just blow up your team right off the get-go.
Yeah.
But without that extra damage, it's pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really have any problem.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. He's also definitely not as Qui-Gon. I mean, the Qui-Gon team is definitely not as powerful on offense these days either.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how much more damage they used to do with set 10. Like 4 times as much almost.
Yeah, and then they nerfed
Anakin
even
was-
armor pen. Like they gave us armor pen again, but it's like pathetic numbers. I don't know why they
Yeah.
thought that was like it was. I don't think it was overpowered. Like not even that many characters have good base armor pen, but now it's just like pitiful. It's like you need
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
you need like every roll armor pen to get like one level 7 or 8 roll that we have from set 10.
Yeah, honestly, with stats, I haven't really done any stat rerolling. Maybe 1 or 2 on a Datacron where I can do some 20s or 40s or something, but it just seems like it's a waste of materials. Maybe I'll do it with once I get like my full set of Datacrons with the next conquest, but for now it just doesn't seem worthwhile to try and roll.
Yeah.
This is another sort of fun one, but I think it's relatively dependent on the crit damage because I had a lot of crit damage, like 100% crit damage on this one. And pretty early I kill the, yeah, this is very satisfying here.
Oh, nice.
Because stats wise, this is like a 50% success rate after we won. I mean, looking at the results.
Really?
So I
Even
don't
with Rex
feel I
and,
got super lucky.
Even with Rex and 5s?
Yeah. I think it's 57%, 54%, something like that. From what I recall.
Check. I thought it was a little bit better. Yeah, it's 77.5%.
Oh, 77%?
Yeah, yeah, 77.5.
Okay.
With
Definitely
Echo
wrong
and
then.
Arc, it's 64.4. With Rex and Arc, it's 40%. So yeah, I think with a good comp, you're more or less
Maybe
safe.
I was looking at averages instead of the. Yeah, that's definitely safer than. Okay, I don't feel as special now. This was no big deal then.
Yeah, I guess.
Easy
Well, I
peasy.
guess it could also be you're looking at the tailored things on Insight. I'm just looking at the general, like this comp versus that comp. Regardless,
Oh, okay.
it's not factoring if they have Omicron or not, which I would assume most do, but some won't. And then, like the right Datacron stuff. So you're probably right in some slice of the pie.
All right. Yeah, I was looking on Insight with the specific Datacron, the level 6 and the level 9, because this one had them both.
Is it Tusken Warrior level 9?
This one was actually, well, actually, no, I'll go back. One of them I thought had a Raider level 9. This one might have been the Raider level 9.
I actually like the Chieftain.
Yeah, I do too. I just haven't had a chance to fight against it.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling to see if I can find the Datacron details. Just a second.
Well, yeah, that was it for that one. That was it for the whole reel. So just
Yep.
back away. That's yours.
I think I ended up going with the crit damage.
There it is.
So here we go. It
Yeah,
is
warrior.
It is the warrior one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the last fight.
Yeah, I was trying to skimp with my clones. I set Rex and 5s. Or no, I set Rex and
Captain
like
Rex or something?
Echo. Yeah, with Captain Rex. I put Echo because they can get armor shred with assists. I was like, oh well, he'll assist more, so I put that, and then I took Arc and 5s, and I barely won. I got like 50 banners. It was like a last second miracle, but the next match I used Treya because I did not feel comfortable.
That's definitely like the way to go. I think that seems to be the most reliable way to kill it. Just overall against any Datacrons and stuff.
With Savage, I think with Scion, it's not as good.
Yeah, you need the turn meter, I think, from Savage.
Yeah, so I just went ahead and put Krex with Hera and Kanan. Still get something. It requires something for it, and then freeze up my Rex and 5s. So that's better.
What did you do with your Captain Rex this week? Or if it's not on your front wall, then don't say. But did you have him on defense still, or you don't want to say?
I did something creative with him. I won't say in case someone scouts me. Or maybe it's not. You don't know, so be in fear. Or not.
He's actually very interesting in 3. I think most people, at least that I've faced, usually put him with Saw. But like it sort of shuts down some of the easier counters, but you can still use Gas or Star Killer or something like that, and doesn't really change it that much. So I'm curious. I'm always curious to see other places for Captain Rex because has quite a good kit. So
yeah, no, I mean he's awesome. I just like can't bring myself to completely nullify the Phoenix and clone part of his kit. Because even with Hera in 3v3, like his Omicron shut off, but it's still kind of an annoying team if you don't have the right thing. Padme is probably the easiest solution, but people don't always have that available.
Yeah, it's very interesting actually. These days, when I'm setting my defense, one of the things I actually try and do is like put at least 2 teams that are easy to Padme and difficult to do something else with.
Nice.
So, because she is the whole Padme Gideon thing is one of the best cheap sort of easy counters to a lot of really good teams.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing, I don't think I've used Padme on Hera yet, but I used just Seer with Fulcrum and Cal because I'm using Malicos with Slicker, and it worked pretty good,
Right.
except like Rex had the 75% damage reduction and just like stayed alive forever one time. Or maybe that was against a clone lineup, but on either side, they're great for survivability and they can hit really hard, so they're a perfect solution.
No, it's interesting talking about teams on offense and defense. I don't think I've ever had Seer off defense. Well, I used her on offense, but
yeah, like in 3s now, I don't set her because I need Malicos, and then without Malicos, you just get Gidme, so like, yeah, I'll use her on offense. Speaking of new things, what is your plan for Dark Trooper Moff Gideon if you come across him?
as soon as we're over, I'm going to go look at some streams to see if I can find people fighting him. I have no clue. I was thinking, we had briefly talked about this earlier, to use Radis, that just popped into my head. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It makes some sense.
But they hit a lot, and the exposes, there's no immunity to percentage health damage or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, could work.
It could. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'd be worried that would end in a timeout on just Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, ultimately. Because if he doesn't,
very likely.
I mean, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. Insta kills are a thought. My opponent put one on the top wall, so I don't have to deal with it until I see the back, and hopefully I can allocate some massive overkill. I allocated massive overkill to like a Bo-Katan, Paz Vizsla, and IG-12 team because I didn't understand it,
Oh,
and I used Ray. I just like made sure I kept Ray,
oh wow.
and I don't know if something else would have won, but I had no data on it, and that just blew it away. And I did win that one, so I didn't feel too bad about it. But I had to like do some mental gymnastics to allocate Ray for that team just because I was afraid.
I'm very curious now. Actually, I haven't seen that fight a single time. Well, I probably will when I catch up to your GAC videos, but
Yeah.
now I'm going to go look at stats because, yeah, I have no clue how they do. If they're even good without the new bow coming around
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, that's a good point. I got to check the stats on them. Been doing some stat checking, but I didn't check on that yet.
Hmm. Yeah, that's yesterday. I went and dug through a bunch of stats to try and sort of figure out what I wanted to do on defense. But man, it seems like it's hard to come up with an idea to make the opponent make some difficult choices besides like everything on defense. You're sort of just hoping to put some strange things up and
Yeah.
they overkill or underkill at the wrong moment.
Yeah, well, just from a quick glance, there was like not too many instances of that Grogu Paz Vizsla team, but people beat it with Gidme 100%, Bounty Hunters 100%, Qui-Gon 100%.
Okay,
So
not amazing
I
then.
had massive overkill. I
How
was
many
just
people
afraid
use
of Paz
Ray?
Vizsla. All right, well, I am antsy to get started on my Grand Arena, and I'm sure you're ready to prepare for yours. So let's call it quits. Ken, thanks so much for joining, and great footage. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Good luck.
All right, thanks everyone. See ya.